Genesis chapter 3, KJV Trivia. Genesis chapter 3, question 1. Which animal was more subtle than all the other land animals? A. Owl. B. Serpent. C. Monkey. D. Quail. The correct answer is B. Serpent. Reference Genesis 3 verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Genesis chapter 3, question 2. What was the serpent's response when Eve said they would die from eating the forbidden fruit? A. Ye shall not die. B. Ye shall die but for a while. C. Ye shall not surely die. D. Ye shall be God. The correct answer is C. Reference Genesis 3, verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die. Genesis chapter 3, question 3. According to the serpent, why didn't God want Adam and Eve to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil? A. So that they would also have the power to create life. B. So that they would not be as wise as God. C. So that they would not also become God. D. Because their eyes would be opened, they shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. The correct answer, D. Reference Genesis 3, verse 5. For God doth know that the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. Genesis chapter 3, question 4. When Adam and Eve's eyes were opened, what did they know immediately? A. They knew they had become like God. B. They knew that the serpent was right. C. They knew that the serpent was wrong. D. They knew they were naked. The correct answer is D. They knew that they were naked. Reference Genesis 3, verse 7. And the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. Genesis chapter 3, question 5. After Adam and Eve sinned, they sewed blank leaves together to cover their nakedness. A. Fig. B. Apple. C. Grape. D. Banana. The correct answer is A. Fig. Reference Genesis 3, verse 7. And the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made themselves aprons. Genesis chapter 3, question 6. Where did Adam and Eve hide themselves when God called? A. They hid among the trees of the garden. B. They hid under a fig tree. C. They hid among the sycamore trees. D. They hid among the olive trees. The correct answer is A. They hid among the trees of the garden. Reference, Genesis 3, verse 8. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. Genesis chapter 3, question 7. The serpent was cursed to eat what all the days of thy life? A. Grass. B. Stones. C. Dust. D. Wood. The correct answer is C. Dust. Reference, Genesis 3, verse 14. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Genesis chapter 3, question 8. At what time of the day did God visit Adam and Eve? A. Sunrise. B. Noon. C. Dusk. D. Cool of the day. And the correct answer is D. Cool of the day. Reference, Genesis 3, verse 8. And they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God amongst the trees of the garden. Genesis chapter 3, question 9. Who did Adam blame for his sin of eating the forbidden fruit? A. The devil. B. Eve. C. The serpent. D. God. The correct answer is A. Reference, Genesis 3, verse 12. And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. Genesis chapter 3, question 10. After driving man out, God places cherubim at the blank of the Garden of Eden. A. Entrance. B. North. C. West. D. East. The correct answer is D. East. Reference, Genesis 3, verse 24. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, and a flaming sword which turned every way, to keep the way of the tree of life.